Hi friends, welcome to WebChamp. In this video, I'm going to talk on CSS display properties and CSS position properties. Okay, so what is the use of CSS display property? We will discuss everything in detail, and if you got these two properties, okay, and if you understand why which property to use, then and then only you are able to align, you are able to design the web pages. These two property, display and position, okay, it plays a very important role in web design because it they directly deals with content alignment. Okay, so what is the CSS display? So in a CSS display we have these values for the property. We can display elements as a block, inline block, or none. Okay, what does this mean? So let's understand. Let's say I have a one div here, and inside a one div I have another element. Okay, as a div can be a element, I mean it is a element. Okay, and I have few more elements here. Okay, and I am adding this. So if this is a div, okay, if this is a div, then that div will, or that div has by default property. Okay, or div will be I can say display block. I mean by default property for the div is display block. Means what it will do, the moment I add three divs to any element, okay, by default it will take 100% width. By default it will take 100% width, like this as I shown on the screen. Okay, and it takes 100% width with respect to its parent. Okay, let's say I have a one div and I will say this has a parent. Okay, and what I will do, I will add a few more divs here, and I have a div. Okay, and I will say class and child. Similarly, I would like to add two more, okay, to demonstrate what is a display. And as I said, div is a block level element. By default, it's display property, or by default, display value is block. Okay, so what I will do, I will say dot parent, and for the parent, I will add some height. Okay, I will say, or first I will add some width, and I will say width is 500 pixel. Okay, and I will say height. Height is 300 pixel. Okay, it is fine. And I will add border also so that we can see that how much area it is covering. I will say 2 pixel solid and red, just to see how element is placed on web page. Okay, now it's time to give the property to the child. I will say child. Okay, and for each child I will add a background color. And background color of what? So background color of, okay, for the same color will be applicable for all, and blue violet. Later on what I will say, I will say height, and height is 100 pixel. Okay, I'm dividing the height into three divs, that's why I have taken 100 pixel. Okay, and if I go here and if I refresh, you can see that entire block is covered. But what we did, we have added color to this child. Means what happened, okay, you can see here, and I will say I will say I will add a border of 2 pixels solid. 2 pixels solid. Okay, just for the demo purpose, I have added border. And here you can see that 3 divs are sitting inside a one div that is of red color border, and they are by default they are taking 100% width. Yes, they are taking 100% width. So this is the signal of uh, display property, default display property, that div is a block level elements. So I can say that block level elements, whenever we declare any element as a display block, I will say display block, that element will take 100% property, 100% width. Okay, no problem. What I will do, I will reduce the width, and I will say, okay, what, how much width I have taken? I have taken 500 pixel width. So what I will do, I will reduce the width by 40% or 30%. Okay, that is fine. So if I say, or not by, so okay, I will reduce it to 30%, and you can see the difference. Now it has taken, or child elements, child divs has taken 30% width, but still it is coming on new line. Means how this works. Okay, let's understand here. So what we have did, we have set the width to 30%. Set the width to 30%. But still the display property is, or display value is block. And since it is defined, by default it is defined, okay, we have not defined, or I mean we have defined here, but if we do not define, still that will be display default. So display block. So what will happen? So remember this about display block property. Display block elements will always start on new line, even though there is a space for new element to sit next on previous element. Okay, so this is how elements can sit, right? We have a space. Similarly, we have taken 30% width, so here, I mean, these two elements should come and sit here. Yes, that is possible, but default property for the div is display block. I would like to change it to display inline. The moment I say display inline, okay, what will happen? So what I have did here, right? So elements are sitting on same line or in a horizontal way. So it will automatically come to horizontal way. Okay, why this is not reflecting? Because we have given height and width. Okay, we have given height and width, but height and width will not work with display inline element. So for that purpose, what I need to do, I need to add some content. Okay, I will say webcam 1. Here I will say webcam 2. If content is not there, it will not take space. That's why it was looking like that. And now what we did, or we said that the divs, child divs are display inline. But again, there is a one more element that is of display block, that is H1. So by default, all the heading elements are display block. So if I take here, you can see that if I say background color, and I will say this, and still you can see that headings are taking 100% width. That I don't want. So I can change this, right? I can change this to display inline by adding some more properties here. Oh, sorry, not properties, selector I can say. And h1. Okay, so I'm giving display inline property simultaneously to this h1. Okay, but it will take height and width. Again, that will be a problem. Instead of that, okay, what I will do, I will keep this as it is, and I will say separately h1 as a display inline. Okay, and now you can see that two elements are coming and sitting aside of each other. Why third is not coming? Because there is a no space, sufficient space available. So how this works? Okay, if this element requires that much, here you can see that much amount of space, and if first two element has taken that much amount of, here you can see, okay, this much amount of space, and this element would not fit here. Okay, in that case, next element will come on next line. Otherwise, they all should come and place on single line, or they will be on horizontal line only. Okay, so this is how display inline property works. Okay, what I will do for demonstration purpose, I will say 800, and now parent width is 800 pixel, and that three child elements has sufficient space to sit on next of one on the another, right? And this is how display inline and display block property works. Okay, now next point is I want to add height and width. Okay, so here if I try, okay, if I remove this, there will not be any impact, because okay, width it has not taken width, right? And here you can see that h1 or div is not taking up any height and width. There is no impact of height and width on display inline element. But now I wanted to add height and width. Okay, so what I will do, I will say height, and height is, let's say, 100 pixel, and width say 30%. Okay, but if I change this to block element, okay, if I change this to block element, it will start on new line. I don't want this. Okay, if what I will do, I have another property, that display inline. If I use display inline, it will not take height and width, and I want a property which will allow me to take height and width also, and it should display elements as inline. Okay, so for that purpose, CSS has one more property called display inline block. The moment we declare any element as an inline block, what it will do, it will sit, or it will arrange like inline element, but still it will take height and width. So now what will happen? So here you can see that all the three elements are taking height and width. Okay, and it also behaving like inline elements. They are not coming and sitting on the new line. So this is the advantage of using display property. Okay, now we have one more property, that display none. What is the use of display none? All right, as I said, we have property called display none. What I will do, I will hide this element. I will hide this middle element, and by using display none property, means I need to use another selector. I will say id child2. Okay, and what I will do, I will say dot, not dot. Whenever we use id, we need to use the hash, and I will say child2, hash child2. Okay, means id child2, and I will give the property as a display none. The moment I declare display none, that element will not be visible. Okay, and next element will come, I mean, what happened? So this element will come and sit here. Means there is no existence of that display none element. It will not take any space. But you want that space acquired by hidden element should remain same, or that space should not be removed, right? Or this next element should not come and sit here in the place of hidden element. In that case, we have a property called visibility. Okay, and it is very similar to display property in case of hiding and visibility, I mean, making the element visible. So I will say visibility hidden. The moment I declare visibility hidden, okay, what it will do, it will hide that element, but that space acquired by element is remain exist in the page. Okay, so this is how these two property, display and visibility property, works. Okay, now it's time to move ahead with CSS position property. Okay, so with respect to position, we have 5 values. First value is static, next is fixed, then sticky, then relative and absolute. Okay, let's understand one by one what and all these properties. Okay, and if you want to read about the points related to inline and display property, so here you can read everything I have discussed. So now we will go with position property. So what is the use of position property? Okay, so now we have discussed about display property. That property allow display property allows to set the elements, okay, or how element should behave is defined. Okay, but now this element is sitting at left corner by default, right? By default, and there is one more element between this. So I will remove this, and here you can see that that next element is coming and sitting here next to the webchamp one. Webchamp 3 is sitting next to the webchamp 2. Okay, then by default every element has a position property, and the default value is static. Means what? Okay, if I go here and I will say position static. Okay, and when I declare position as a static, nothing will happen. And when we want to move the element, position property will help us to move the element from its position. Okay, how to move? So for that purpose, or to change the position of element, CSS has given properties called left, right, top and bottom. But since by default position property for all the element is static, and these 4 properties are not working with static position. Means, okay, if I say left 100 pixel, nothing will happen. It will not change anything. Okay, you can see the difference here. Nothing is happening. And if I add top 100 pixel, so as per my expectation, it should take that much amount of space from mentioned sides. but it is not moving anywhere because we have declared this position as a static, even though I do not declare. By default position is static. So now I wanted to move the element. Okay, where I wanted to move the element from left and from top side by 100 pixel. Okay, for that purpose we have a property called relative. Okay, and if I refresh the page, here you can see all the elements are moved. I mean that all the childs are moved by 100 pixel from left and from top, from its normal position, normal flow of page. Okay, what is normal flow? When we don't use any of this property and the elements will aligned on the web page as per the normal flow of page from that position, means webcam should be here only on this corner, left corner only, but now this has been moved to this location. Means what is happening, this is moved here. Okay, and this is again moved by 100 pixel from here, again this is moved by 100 pixel from here, and in this way they are aligned. So it has taken 100 pixel from this side and 100 pixel from this side. Okay, all those three elements has taken. If I want, I will say, or I will comment out this so that I can talk on only one element. Okay, so now this element has taken space from left and right side, sorry, no, left and top side. Okay, what I will do, I will add this. Okay, let's skip this. And okay, so what is the difference between static and position relative? It is very similar to the static, but it allows to move. Position relative allow us to move the element by using left, right, top, bottom properties. Okay, so that is the only difference. Otherwise, it is taking up the space. It is taking up the space as normal flow of web page. Means what? This webcam 2 is also taking up the space, whatever the space aligned or assigned to that element. But in some cases, I wanted to show the element in such a way that it should not take the space of normal flow of web page. Means what? Okay. So what I will do, I will say, okay, to demonstrate purpose, what I can do or how I can change the code. Okay, let me remove this. It is fine. And let me add a webcam here. Okay, I don't, or I want here this property also. Okay, I have added the webcam in this way. In this way. Okay, webcam 2, webcam 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and for the child, I will change the width to 50%. And okay, for the 2. Now the thing is that my third element is coming on next line. Why? Because this webcam 2 has taken a space. Okay, and I don't want this webcam 2 should take a space, should take a space. For that purpose, what I can do, I can add one more class demo, and I will say I will change the property, position property for that element only. Okay, and I will say demo dot demo, and position is absolute. And when I declare the position as absolute, what it will do? Okay, so my element is third element is here. This element will not take a document space. Instead, it will it will be a separate, or it is aligned with its parent, aligned with its parent. And what it will do, it will come here. Third element will come on this side, and this will be on the above of third element. So here you can see the difference. So webcam 3 and webcam 2 should come. So webcam 2 is looking like it has not taken a flip, or it is not in a flow of web page. It has taken a separate space, and we can move this webcam to anywhere inside a block of this black border, inside a black border. Okay, so what I will say, I will say right, I will say right 0, and here you can see that it is coming to the right side. If I say bottom 0, if I say bottom 0, it will come down. Okay, and this is how it works. This is how it works. Okay, what I will do, instead of 100 pixel, I will say 200 pixels, so that you can see the difference, and it is coming to the bottom. Okay, the moment I say instead of right, I will say left 0, it will go there on left side, and it is also taking bottom 0. Instead of that, I will say top 0. Okay, I mean, when we declare position as absolute for any element, that element will not affect the size, or yes, I can say size of its parent. It is like a virtual element. It is like a virtual element. It is not taking up any space. Okay, it's like that element does not exist in that element, or in that div. This is how it behaves. Okay, so that is the difference between position absolute and relative. Relative position take a normal space. I mean, it take a space like normal, uh normal flow of page. Okay, takes space per normal flow of page. But when we declare position as absolute, it will not takes space per normal flow of page. Okay, that is the difference only. Means when to use this position absolute, whenever you wanted to add some text, okay, on the image, right, this absolute position will help us. Means what we need to do, we need to give the absolute property to the text. Okay, and let's see how this works. Let's see how this works. Okay, I have something called, or I will, or I would like to demonstrate here in this way. Okay, I have, let's keep that. And if I go to my folder, I have an image here. Okay, so what I will do, I will add image here, and to show you position absolute. Okay, the moment I say image, I need to give a source for that image, and I will say html dot jpg. And what it is doing for me, okay, it has taken a space. Okay, I will add a height of 200 pixel and width of 300 pixel. Okay, it is fine. So this image should look like this, and this should not take any top and left position. Okay. Okay, so now you can see that these two, image and webchamp, are siblings. Okay, siblings to each other. This image and h1 tags are sibling to each other, means they are having same parent. Okay, they are having one parent. Okay, now what is happening now? If I come here, and this is my, let's say this is my webchamp, and this is my image. Okay, and now they are aligned like this, means one below other, one below other. Okay. One below the other. So this child you has some width that is higher than that image width. That's why it is showing that background color. What I will do, I instead of that I will say 300 pixel. Okay, so that background color will be gone. So now these two elements are aligned in such a way that they are taking a space. They are taking a space, or I mean they are taking a space in such a way that they are exist in the div of red color. Okay, if I add any element next to this, so we can see here that webcam 3, this element is taking up space. But what I wanted to do, I want this h1 to be on this side, means I mean on this image. Okay, I wanted to move this h1 on this image. Okay, I can increase the size to 300 pixel and 500 pixel. Okay, now for that purpose, what we need to do, we need to give the display absolute property for these two elements. Okay, for these two, means this both, if you want, over the one element should come on another element, that is possible with the help of only position, not a position absolute property. Okay, and for that purpose I will say image comma h1, and now you can see that webchamp is coming on, webcam 3 is coming on html image. So here you can see the difference. If I say that it is relative, okay, it is relative, both will be relative, but they will take their space, own space. But the moment I say position absolute, okay, they will start from the same position. Means what is happening? Okay, so this is, since this is my image, okay, and at very initial phase both have taken their own space, and what I will do, the moment I declare, or when I declare position as absolute, both will start from this point, both will start from this point. Okay, and that's why this webchamp is coming on this image. Okay, but for that purpose it is required to have the same parent. Okay, parent is not same, that your image or your content will not come on the next element. So this is how position absolute works. Okay, now with the help of this, I can move h1 to anywhere. Okay, right. And if I say, okay, if I go and if I say here that h1, okay, h1 I will say left 100 pixel, it will move away from left side by 100 pixel. And we can say that even instead of this, if I say right 0, since this is a position absolute, it will come to right 0 with respect to its parent div. Okay, and for the parent div, we have taken this much height. Okay, I mean this much width. So I will say 800 pixel. Okay, and as compared to parent. Okay, so parent is this black border. You can see that that is the parent for this image and this webcam 3. So that's why it is behaving according to the parent. And I will say if I say 500 pixels, so as we have given width to image as a 500 pixel, so it will looks like that. And I will say height will be 300 pixels. I'm just matching the properties of parent to this image. And the moment I say okay bottom 0, it will come to the bottom side. So this is how we can move the text on the image by using position absolute property. So position absolute is very different from position relative, right? Position relative takes space. Each element has a space, but in case of this, it's like a virtual elements. Okay, now we have two more position properties. Okay, what are those? So that is a fixed and sticky. Okay, what does mean by fixed? Okay, if I come here, and what I will do, I will add a scroll bar by changing the height and width of. Okay, so element is child element is parent now. So what I will do, I will add height and width to this parent only, this child class element only. And okay, to add the scroll bar, if my height goes above the height of screen size, and if my width goes higher than this, what is this page size or my laptop screen size, then it will automatically add the scroll bars. Okay, so I have added scroll bar, and now you can see that I have declared webcam as a bottom 0. It is going down there. It is going down there. So when I scroll this page, you can see that page is, or this page is, and since this is relative, okay, what I will do, I will add a top property here, and I will say top 100 pixel. Okay, it should take to the child element. Okay, and I am just adding top 100 pixel. Not sure if this works. Okay, why this is because its parent is not there. Okay, no problem. So what I will do, I will add this to image, and image will, for image it should work. Okay, so now for image I will say top 100 pixel, and for h1 also. Okay, for h1 also. So now it has taken a space from top side. Okay, now what I wanted to do, I wanted to make these elements as a fix here. Means this, when I scroll the page, even I scroll the page, entire content of this page will get scrolled up and down, but these two elements, that is webcam 3 and HTML image, should remain at the same position. For that purpose, we have a property called position fixed. Okay, we have a property called position fixed, and now it is fixed. Okay, and here you can see that I am scrolling up the page, but both the elements are at the same place. Even if I scroll the page horizontally, okay, it is not moving anywhere. So this is the use of position fixed property. It will make the element fixed at that position. Okay, now we have next property, that is called position sticky. Okay, the moment I declare, okay, I will say position sticky. Okay, and when I declare this position as a sticky, what it will do, it will stick to the side, or it will stick to that position where I will mention that top as a 0. Means I am saying that, okay, I am saying that, hey image, you should stick at top 0. You should stick at top 0. Okay, then what is mean by stick? If I scroll the page, you can see that the content is scrolling up and down. But when my content, or that particular element where I have declared position as a sticky, when that element reaches to top 0 position, I mean 0 pixel from top side, it will stop scrolling. Okay, it will stop scrolling. This is how position sticky works. Means that element will stick to that particular side for which we have given an offset. If I say you should stick at 10 pixel, okay, 10 pixel top, so it will leave some space from top side. So here you can see that now webchamp is taking up some space from top side, as I mean that is of 10 pixel only. That is what I have declared. Okay, now position sticky is done, and now we have a position called absolute. Okay, what I will do, I will say position absolute here, and now I want these two elements should come on each other. Okay, I will remove this, and now we have these two elements. But here that content is coming first. That content is coming first. Okay, what I will do, I will change this, and I will say webcam 3 first, and then I will add image. And what is happening by default, last added element is only shown to the user. What about this first added element, right? That is the behind of this image, that is there. Okay, that is there because of this position absolute property. They are coming or starting from the same position. That element is there, but it is getting hidden by this image, and I wanted to display that. Okay, means what, I wanted to bring the webcam 3 on the image. Okay, but for that purpose, what I can do, I can make this webcam 3 as a second element, but without doing this, without moving this in, I wanted to keep the elements image and h1 in this sequence only, and I wanted to bring the h1 to top of the image. For that purpose, okay, we have something called z index. We have z index. This is the property. Okay, z index is the property used to display element. Means if two or three or two or more elements are overlapping to each other, then which element should be displayed is decided by using z index property. Means what I will say, I will give z index 2. I mean the element which has higher z index, that will be shown first, right? And I mean the priority should be given to this webcam 3 by using z index. So this is how z index works. If I change this to image, even this is possible. Okay, by default now this content will be there. Okay, by default this content will be there, and I don't want this webcam 3 to be displayed on this image. In that case also, I can say that z index -1, and that webcam 3 will go behind the image, and it will not be displayed. Still it will remains there. Okay, so this is how z index works. Means what I wanted to do, I can decide what content to be shown to user. If I wanted to decide, if I wanted to display image first, I will add z index property, higher z index to this image, and this will come on the content. And if I want this comes on the image, I can say z index 2 or 3 or whichever would be the higher number for that element, and z index will works like this to make the element visible on another element. Okay, so this is all about display property. This is all about CSS display, CSS position, and CSS visibility property, and z index. So guys, I hope you got a clear picture about how CSS display, position, visibility, and z index works. Thank you so much for watching this video. I would like to conclude this video here.